So I chose the mini unit for grade 4. I chose place value and multiplication flipped. I chose to do place value and multiplication flipped because my 2T is my friend's daughter. She's struggling with math. I analyzed her tests and work and realized that her areas of weakness were place value. It was muddying everything, making everything muddy. She's not putting columns properly underneath of multiplication. She's confusing herself. She's really not getting that much wrong. She's just not getting the right answer. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. They're doing pretty difficult multiplication in her class right now, so I thought it was okay to show her the video of the multiplication from left to right. And I did this mini unit for her, but it could be for any 4th grade class. Her mother's been busy repeating the same steps that she's learning in school, and she's not getting success. She's getting 40 or 50s on her work. So there's the California State Standards math content area that this is going to touch upon. Okay, and now the unit objectives that I want to achieve are understanding of place value, understanding of multiplication, and the understanding of number sense. Should she see the big picture of multiplication? Okay, so lesson 1, it's just about a, 30, whoops, excuse me, my computer just skipped. Okay, so it's just about a 30 minute to an hour long session. The grade level is grade 4. The math concept is numbers and operations in base 10. The overall concept is how to overcome numbers, how to understand how numbers work, excuse me. If a 0 is added to a 2, it becomes a 20. If 2 zeros are added to a 2, it becomes a 200, and so on and so forth. Knowledge of this concept will help her difficulties in division and multiplication. So basically, how I'm going to hook her, how I'm going to get her interested, I'm going to show her this little YouTube video here. We can watch just a little second of it. It's called Math Antics. It's about place value. Let me just change the recording area so that you can see here. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome to Math Antics. In this lesson, we're going to learn how our basic number system works, and we're going to learn about an important concept called place value. The number system that we use in math is called base 10 because it uses 10 different symbols for counting. Math could use other systems that are based on a different number, like base 2 or base 8, but I'll give you 10 guesses as to why the number 1 at a time, like we did with the first number place. We're going to use it to count apples 10 at a time. In other words, we use it to keep track of how many groups of 10 apples that we've picked.
Okay, so you get the gist of that. That's going to just hook her. I just gave you a little sample of that video, but then she's going to, kind of get an idea of it. Instead of just me talking to her, she's going to understand what we're doing. Okay, so then the guided practice, I'll give them a number, and then I want them to build the number in the place value board. I want them to build it to the nearest 10 or hundreds place, and this is going to be done with Legos. Okay, so basically the hundreds place Legos are larger, the tens place Legos are the middle size, and the ones are the smallest, so that she can kind of get an idea of what she's doing. Okay, so here's the place value card. Excuse me. Here's the place value card that I'm going to use. It looks like this. It's from On Cloud 9, Linda Mood Bell's place value. Not quite sure how I can make this screen bigger, but you get it. You get it. You've all seen one of these before. So there's that. And then let me just fix this again. I'm sorry. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. Okay, so then the worksheet that's going to accompany that is, first of all, we're going to play with it. We're going to play with it. We're going to play with it. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to answer any of her questions. And then I want her to do this worksheet. Show me 36 on the board. Draw what your board looks like. What's the number if we round it to the next 10? Is it 30 or is it 40? She's getting rounding wrong for everything because she doesn't understand place value. So here we can actually look at the Legos and say, well, do we need, more than 5 more? If we need more than 5 more, then you're going to have to round up. Or round down. If we need less than 5 more, you're going to have to round up. Okay? And then I make the number a little bit more complex. and make the number a little bit more complex, and make the number a little bit more complex. Okay, lesson 2. Again, is an hour long, half an hour long lesson. We've all seen this video. Multiply from left to right. The students are going to write a paragraph explaining whether they like the new way that I showed them or the old-fashioned way. Here's the California Common Core state standards that it represents. So I want her to be able to understand number sense. I want her to look at a multiplication problem and say, oh, this is probably what it is, okay? The materials needed, we're going to follow along with the video. You've all seen the video because we had to do it in class. So I guess what I would say to them, let them know the man is from New York or New Jersey. He does have a funny accent. He doesn't really sound like a Californian. However, he's teaching some really powerful stuff, so listen up. So then I show him the video on YouTube. We've all seen it, so I'm going to spare you the time. And then the introduction. I will have them follow along with the video. We're going to stop after every single problem that he does, and we're going to work it through, and I want to make sure that they understand it and don't have any questions because it's a pretty complex task, but once you get it, it's like, aha, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So then how will I evaluate them when it's all done? I'm going to help them understand the concept one at a time. Pause after each video. We're going to practice. We're going to apply what we've learned. How could I make adaptations for English learners or gifted students? I'll adapt it accordingly. If they understand the lesson, I'll move forward. If they're struggling, I'll allow an adaptation of numbers. If they're not getting it, just do 2 numbers times 2 numbers. We don't have to make it so complex until they get it, obviously. And don't move on if they don't get it. Okay, so direct lesson number 3. We're going to read a book called Place Value by David Adler. It's a really cute, quirky, funky book. It's about these monkeys who are, they are cooking. So it really helps to understand real-world reasons why we need to understand place value and the meaning of decimals. And here we bring in decimals too, so we're just making it just a little bit harder, okay? So we're going to read the book, talk about the key concepts, and create a vocabulary list. They can write any vocabulary words that pertain to math, and I want them to try to hit them all. Okay, so anticipatory set, how will we hook the students? I'll tell them that it's a silly, cheeky monkey story. It's going to build knowledge on place value. The little monkeys touch on decimals and fractions just to make it clear. It's a fun read and might clear up any misconceptions about numbers. Okay, so the guided practice here, we're going to turn our name into numbers, which I think is kind of fun. Here's my name. My name's Heather. H is 8, E is 5, A is 1, T is 20, H is 8, E is 5, R is 85. So my number is this gigantic number, and we need to know where did we place the commas in the correct place. Why is this 18 here? Sorry about that. That's a typo. Independent practice, they're going to do their own name, okay? For English learners or gifted students, I could download the book in Spanish or other languages. I could also have good gifted students paired with students that have more difficulties. Maybe they could talk about it together. They could help them out. So exit ticket is going to be this. What is the purpose of the decimal? If I say 90, if I say 0.99, what does this mean? You can always think of money to help you. Money is the most common place we see decimals. The Cheeky Monkeys did a fabulous job describing this. Now you describe it, please. Tell me your name in numbers. My name is Heather. Here's my number. Okay? And then lesson 4 is the assessment. So it brings all the math concepts together. Common Core state standards, brings them all together, has everything that I touched upon is touched upon in this assessment. We're going to understand why and how. How did they do it? Why did they do it? The materials we need are just this assessment, and I'll show it to you really quickly. Kind of hard to toggle back and forth through this while I'm presenting, so sorry. I'm really learning this. So here it is. I hope it comes up properly. Okay. Okay, we got it. Okay, round 26 to the nearest 10 spot. Tell me why. What's the reason we have commas in numbers? There's your multiplication. Show me left to right multiplication for this. Show me left to right multiplication. Oh, it was the same thing twice. Whoops, I have to fix that. What's the purpose of a decimal in a number? For example, 3.5. What does 0.5 mean? Show me your name in numbers. Use commas correctly. Round 189 to the nearest hundreds place. Round 149 to the nearest hundreds spot. In the number 589, what's the number in the tens place? In the number 589, what's the number in the ones place? All right, everybody, have a good day. I hope I didn't take up too much time. I went 10 minutes. That's too long. Sorry about that. Bye.